my magical friends, I'm Cowmingo! Now in today's video, I'm going to be comparing every single boat inside of Overlook Bay, and we're going to be figuring out what the best boat in the entire game is. But before we get into that, if you do a quick favor, make sure that you're subscribed and you've liked the video, that would mean the world to me. But let's go ahead and get started! Now the first three boats I'm going to be doing are the personal vehicle boats, which is the door, the water ski, and the surfboard. Now I'm going to be doing the ratings for style, how funny it is, how easy it is to control, and how useful it is. Now starting off with the door, I'm definitely going to say the style is a solid 10 out of 10 because you're just literally riding on top of a door. Same with funny too, 10 out of 10 because you're literally just riding on top of a door. Which is absolutely hilarious. You could even use these personal vehicles on top of the land too. So you can literally ride a door on top of like the sand. Or while doing your dailies or just doing anything. It is absolutely hilarious. Now for controllability, actually I'm going to put this as a 10 out of 10. Because it is a personal vehicle and it's just as easy as moving normally. And yet again, you can ride it on top of water, which makes it super useful. So overall, the door is a solid 10 out of 10 for all the categories. But moving on to the next vehicle, we have the water ski. And they're pretty cool looking. They're the exact same speed as all the other personal vehicles. I do find it kind of goofy that you hold your hands out though while riding it. It's a little bit out of place, but still very funny. So for this water ski, I'm definitely gonna give this style a good 8 out of 10. The funny rating, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 also just because it's just hilarious they get to ride these things on the normal land too. Controllability and usefulness are also both 10 out of 10. But moving on to the last personal vehicle, we have the surfboard. Which the style is definitely a good 9 out of 10. Just because you literally can now surf in the water, which is so cool. Also, the funny rating was just go ahead and give that rating also a like 6 out of 10 too. Because it's not too funny, but it's still a really cool vehicle. And again, controllability and usefulness are a solid 10 out of 10. Now moving on to our very first non-personal vehicle boat, we have the rowboat. Now this boat's fairly good, it's pretty good if you want to go in the water to fish, but I do have one slight issue, you're not actually rowing the boat. It has like an invisible motor on the back of the boat, it makes no sense! And I don't know about you, but I definitely want my realism in my game. But for style, we're definitely gonna give this boat a good 8 out of 10. Just because it is a really nice looking rowboat, but yet again, it's still only a rowboat. Funny rating will go ahead and give a... out of 10. Controllability will definitely give a 6 out of 10. Also, in usefulness will give a 5 out of 10 because it isn't that fast. Moving on to our next one, which is the sailboat. Now this one's actually a bit bigger than the rowboat, has a giant sail. But personally, I do think I like the rowboat a bit better. So we'll just go ahead and give this boat a 5 out of 10 on style, 4 out of 10 on funny, 7 out of 10 on controllability, and a 5 out of 10 on usefulness. Now our next one is the speedboat. And this one definitely follows its name because it is really fast in like every direction. If you want a boat that basically warps you from Overlook Bay all to Arcadia Isle without using an air balloon, this boat will probably do it for you. But for style, this boat is definitely a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna make the funny an 8 out of 10 also because it's have so much fun to drive around. Controllability, I'm gonna put it somewhere near like 7 and 8 because it's really hard to drive sometimes. I bet it's really hard on mobile. And for usefulness, I think I'm gonna give this like a 9 out of 10 just because how fast it is. Now the next one is the fan boat. Now this one's very similar to the speedboat. Except for being a motor is actually a giant fan on the back, kind of like a swamp boat. Have you ever seen one of those? They're really cool looking. Now this one is very similar to the speedboat, but I'm pretty sure it turns even faster. And it is definitely a lot harder to drive, which makes it so much fun to mess around with. But for the style, we're definitely gonna give this one an 8 out of 10. For the funny, we're gonna give this one also an 8 out of 10. just because the turning is all over the place. Controllability is a 6 out of 10 because yet again the controllability is all over the place. And for the usefulness, we'll make this one like let's make it an 8 out of 10 also. Now the next boat is the deep sea fishing boat. And this one's actually one of the bigger boats you can buy and the most expensive one gem-wise. But it's definitely one of the better boats. It's not as fast as some of the others, but it's definitely a lot easier to control. And I'm also pretty sure it's like one of the only boats in the game that actually drifts while you're trying to drive it. But overall, I'm gonna say the style, just because of the size, is actually really nice looking. I'm gonna give this boat a good 9 out of 10. And for the funny scale, we're gonna give this one like a 7 out of 10. Because you can probably fit a lot of players on this boat. And the drifting will probably be a lot of fun if you just mess around, see what you can do with the boat. Controllability, we'll give it a 10 out of 10 just because it's pretty easy to control. And for the usefulness, we'll give this one like an 8 out of 10 because it isn't too fast. Now moving on to the next boat, which is the pirate ship. Now if you want to know how to buy this one, you can actually buy this one for 500 balloons at from Peachy Parrot, where you can buy the balloon stuff. And personally, probably my favorite vehicle in the entire game, for sure. Because you can literally captain your own pirate ship now. I just feel like the pirate ship should have like a cannon on it, so like shoot your cannon at other boats. I think that would be a welcome addition to the pirate ship for sure. And it also roughly moves very similarly to the fishing boats. And it for sure is a ton of fun to drive. But for style, we're definitely gonna give the pirate ship a 10 out of 10. The funniest rating is also 10 out of 10 because you are literally driving around a pirate ship. Controllability is 10 out of 10 because it isn't that hard to drive. And usefulness, we'll give it like an 8 out of 10 because it isn't too fast. But overall, I'm absolutely loving the pirate ship. It's like the best one ever. And you know, I make for a pretty fearsome pirate captain if I say so myself. But moving on to the next vehicle, we have the jet ski! And oh my gosh, this vehicle is so hard to drive, but it is so fast! I will say that if you are a mobile player, I would not recommend buying this vehicle. If you're gonna buy a Roblox vehicle, I recommend buying the Yacht instead, which is the next vehicle I'm about to show. But this vehicle just turns so roughly. But it is still so much fun to drive. But for the style, we're gonna give this vehicle a 9 out of 10 just because it is actually really good looking. It's really fun to drive. For the funny, we're gonna give like a 10 out of 10 because the turning on it is so difficult, but it actually makes it kind of fun. Controllability is definitely like a 1 or 2 out of 10. And for the usefulness, we'll give it like a 4 just because it is super fast, and if you are able to drive it, you could probably get from Overlook Bay to Arcadia Island pretty fast. And for the last vehicle, we have the Yacht. And the Yacht's actually pretty cool. It's really big too, so you can fit a lot of players on. If you watch my video on the update coming out, I had a lot of people on a Yacht. And for the controllability of Yacht, I would say it's roughly the same as the fishing boats, but with a bit more turning for sure. But overall for the style, this is definitely a 9 out of 10. The Yacht is really cool looking. I'm gonna say the funniness is like maybe like an 8 out of 10. It is a lot of fun to get a lot of players on it. Controllability, we give like a 9 out of 10. And for the usefulness, we're gonna give it an 8 out of 10 also, because it's roughly the exact same speed as the fishing boat. But there we go, that is every single boat inside the latest update Overlook Bay. And I hope this helps to prove that the Door is definitely the best vehicle in the game for sure. But jokes out of the way, legit, the boats in this game are so exciting. They've leaked that they were doing boats a very long time ago, and I'm so glad they are finally released. There is so much fun to drive around in. But let me know in the comments, do you agree with my ratings of all the vehicles? Honestly, they're all still a bunch of fun to drive. Like, there isn't a bad vehicle in this update, for sure. But also, let me know in the comments, what is your favorite personal vehicle and your favorite normal vehicle when it comes to the boats? But thanks for being here, and I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye!